Okay, so today is day 4 of the 30-day yapping challenge, and I mean, one thing that I kind of actually, I think today is day 5. I'm not really sure. I'll check in a little bit. But when I started this challenge, I was thinking 30 days just talking to the camera, I can do that. That's no problem. I've always been able to talk. I've always been a talker to talk. I've always been able to talk. I've never been like the talkative type, unless somebody directly asks me something. And then I'll spit the most well-concocted thought that will allow people to think outside of the box, and it's like this observation. And it reminds me of when I was in Frisco, Texas. I was at a pool party, and I was kind of like talking to the guys that I was with, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm not actually that good at talking to women. I'm not that good at parties. I always wanted to meet somebody that was like my intellectual equal or close. Otherwise, I wouldn't enjoy the conversation." And somebody told me that was off. That I should practice being shallow. And you know me, I look down on people that are shallow. At least that's what I used to do. And so I did practice being shallow. I was talking to these girls at the pool, and I was like, "Well, what do you like?" And I forgot what they said, but exactly what he said, it was going to work. It worked. So I got them to talk to me. I even got them to come up to my apartment so we could like keep on partying, but I didn't have any alcohol in my apartment, and they had issues with the power. So the power had recently turned off, and what you're supposed to do is you open up the breaker in your apartment and then turn everything off and then turn it back on. But I couldn't be bothered because I didn't think anybody was going to come to my apartment. But they did. So we sat in absolute silence in my apartment. They were just kind of admiring the decor. And I played a little bit of music because my speaker was charged, but they left. And I was thinking this morning too, I was supposed to go to the park to ground myself so I don't experience spiritual psychosis. I just learned that that's a thing today. And I think that's a real thing. I think it's possible. So I'm going to try to touch some grass later. But I was thinking about, like conversations. I used to think I was so smart that I knew how every conversation was going to progress, so I stopped having them. Like in my head, I was thinking, well, if I talk to this person and we advance the conversation, I had it all thought out earlier, but once I went through like the whole thought and just decided, the next person that I talk to, I'm just going to try to have a real conversation, or not real, but like one of those, the conversation that like the observer archetype doesn't want to have, or thinks that wouldn't be like a conducive or a beneficial conversation. And I know at that point I'll be exposing myself to things that I don't really like. But honestly, I'm tired of not doing anything. I'm tired of what I think might happen, stopping me from doing something, stopping me from practicing something. I'm tired of assuming that the judgment is going to be negative or positive. Sometimes it's neutral, maybe. don't know. I didn't have anything to talk about. I do know that I played Fortnite for like 3 hours and I didn't win a single game. Very upsetting. So I just turned it off and made sure I did my video today. And it is what it is. I learned that one too. It is what it is. That's my favorite thing to say about life. When things are not going your way. And they are currently not, they're not going amazingly my way. And I'm staying positive about a lot of things. But, you know, as I sit here with all this free downtime, there's a bunch of stuff that I could be doing. And, you know, a lot of people have their recommendations of what I should be doing. And probably some of them are right. But I don't know. I even texted a lady that came to see me like a year ago. And I figured, well, since we haven't talked in a long time, it's probably best that I send her a deeply felt apology for the way that I treated her. And she sent me a message back and she says, I don't remember you treating me badly at all. Or what are you talking about in specific? And I had two options, you know. I could go down the rabbit hole of what specifically I meant by how badly I treated her. Because if someone treated me the way that I treated her, I would be upset. But she didn't take it that way, so I just sort of started to think about, to try to verbalize what I thought was happening with myself. And I forgot really what I said, but ultimately I stopped responding to her because I always do that. You know, I meet these people, we talk, we have a wonderful time, and then I just like go back to my hidey hole. Also doing a lot of talking to just make noise. I thought about meditating today, but I was walking to the park and it got cold. Forgot to bring my jacket. Day 4 or day 5, man. That's all I got. That's all I got. Nothing much today. Be good.